You work hard, you follow the rules, but at the end of the month, you're still struggling. Why is it that no matter how much you earn, you never seem to get ahead? The problem isn't you, it's the financial map you've been given. Today, I'm going to give you a new map, the one the rich secretly use to achieve financial freedom. What if you had a clear roadmap that showed you exactly where you are on your financial journey and the precise next step you need to take to build real wealth? That map exists. It combines two powerful concepts into one ultimate matrix, and understanding it is the key to escaping the work until you die trap forever. Does this scene feel familiar to you? You wake up in the morning and the first thing that floods your mind is a wave of financial pressure. Rent, electricity bills, your children's school fees. You work a full 8 hours a day, sometimes even more, taking on extra projects, maybe even a freelance gig on the side. But at the end of the month, you're still struggling for every penny. Often the money comes into your account and is spent before your wallet even feels warm, like a torn purse that can never truly be filled. Have you ever asked yourself, I'm trying my absolute best, so why can't I get ahead? I'll be honest with you, you're not the only one in that situation. Out there, millions of people are also struggling with money. It's not because they are lazy, and it's not because they are incompetent. It's because they are stuck in an invisible loop. A loop that makes you feel like you never have enough, no matter how hard you work, where taking even a month off from your job is a terrifying thought, and where the older you get, the more tired you become. Wealth Topmax warmly welcomes you. This channel is dedicated to sharing wealth-building mindsets for those seeking financial and time freedom. If you don't want to miss out on future valuable insights, consider subscribing for free and turning on the notification bell. People love to throw around words like financial freedom, passive income, and making your money work for you. It sounds impressive, it sounds tempting, but have you noticed how many people talk about it, yet almost no one shows you a clear, actionable path? They tell you to invest, but they don't show you how to start when you only have a couple of $100 in your pocket. They tell you to build a system, but you don't even know what a system really is. And so you feel left behind while others seem to be quietly climbing the financial ladder. Why am I sharing this with you? Because I want you to know that if you are tired and stressed because of money, the problem is not with you. It's with the map you are using to navigate your financial life. Most people are using the work your whole life to survive map, while the rich use the use systems and assets to live freely map. So today I am going to show you that different kind of map. It's a practical roadmap that names every single step clearly, helping you identify exactly where you are, whether you're going the wrong way or the right way, and what precise step you need to take next. I call it the Financial Freedom Matrix. It combines two of the most powerful thinking tools ever created, Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, so you know who you are in the game of money, and the income pyramid, so you can clearly see which level you are on in your journey to wealth. When these two powerful concepts are combined, you will have a financial map that nearly every wealthy person secretly uses to build their fortune, while most ordinary people have never even heard of it. So the question I have for you is this. Are you ready to fundamentally change the way you make money, to step-by-step escape the financial trap that has bound you for so many years? If the answer is yes, then come with me, because what you are about to hear will not be a dry financial lecture, but a step-by-step roadmap, complete with real-life stories, to help you open a brand new chapter in your life. Part 1. Decoding the map. Without a map, you will forever be lost in the game of finance. Have you ever seen someone who earns $150,000 a year, but is still completely broke the moment they lose their job? Or someone who earns only $50,000, but after 5 years has a large amount of savings and lives a comfortable, stress-free life? Why does this paradox exist? It's because most people make money by instinct, not by following a map. And the financial freedom matrix is that map. If you understand this framework correctly, you will know exactly how to go from being an employee to building an automatic money-making system. You will know how to go from having nothing to building a solid asset empire. But if you misunderstand it, you can work forever without any real savings, think you're investing when you're actually just gambling, and think you have a system when you're still completely swamped with work. So, let's decode this map together. First, let's look at the cash flow quadrant. This framework was introduced by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the legendary book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It divides all of us into 4 groups of people based on how we make money. The quadrant is divided into 2 opposing halves, the left side and the right side. The left side of the quadrant represents the philosophy of work hard, live hand to mouth. It consists of 2 groups. Group E is for employee. This is the largest group in society, consisting of people who work for others, office staff, factory workers, teachers, bank employees. The core characteristic of the E group is, if you work, you have money. If you stop working, the money stops. Your income is limited by your personal time and effort. The core mindset of this group is the search for security. I need a stable, secure job. The problem is, no matter how hard you try, you are still just trading your finite time for money. Group S is for self-employed or specialist. These are people who don't work for anyone else, but are not yet true business owners. This includes doctors with private clinics, independent lawyers, freelancers, real estate agents, and small shop owners. The characteristic of the S group is that if you do well, you can make a lot of money, often more than an employee. But if you don't work, the money also stops. In this quadrant, you are the system. When you stop, the system collapses. The core mindset here is, I don't want to be an employee. I want to work for myself and be my own boss. But in reality, you are still a high-level worker, just with more risk. The right side of the quadrant represents the philosophy of work strategically, live freely. It also consists of 2 groups. Group B is for business owner. These are people who build systems that can operate without their direct day-to-day involvement. They could be the owner of a restaurant chain with a management team, an entrepreneur with a software company, or someone with an automatic online sales system. The characteristic of the B group is that they don't work in the business. They work on the business. They use people, technology, and processes to run their operations. The core mindset here is, I don't need to be the best at everything. I need the best system with the best people. Group Y is for investor. These are people who use money to make more money. They no longer need to work in the traditional sense because their money, their assets, and their businesses are all working for them. The characteristic of the I group is that they invest in real estate, stocks, startups, and digital assets. They can sit and do nothing, and they still have cash flow coming in. The risk can be high, but if you know the strategy, this is the pinnacle of financial freedom. The core mindset here is, make money work for me instead of me working for money. To summarize the cash flow quadrant with a simple question, ask yourself this: are you trading your personal effort and time to make money? If you still think, if I stop working, the money stops, then you are on the left side of the quadrant. To be truly free, you must find a way to move to the right side. Now, let's look at the second part of our map, the income pyramid. While the cash flow quadrant tells you who you are, the income pyramid tells you which level you are on in the money game. Imagine your income as a 4-story tower. Level 1 is manual labor or active employment. This is where you have to be physically or mentally present to get paid. This includes factory workers, office staff, drivers, anyone whose income is directly tied to the hours they put in. This is the most crowded level, but it's also the level of being exhausted but not out of poverty. Level 2 is for the skilled professional or self-employed. This includes small traders, freelance graphic designers, and online sellers. They typically earn more than level 1, but they still have to do all the work themselves. It's more profitable, but it's still hard, demanding work. You are just good at your craft. You are not yet good at building systems. Level 3 is system-assisted or partially automated. At this level, you have a Facebook page running ads, you might have a manager or a few employees, or an operating system that handles some of the work. You can go on vacation for a few days and the money still comes in. This is the crucial turning point. Anyone who can pass this level can move towards true freedom. Level 4 is true passive income. This is income from assets like renting out a house, a popular YouTube channel, a published book, a portfolio of dividend stocks, or a digital course. Even if you do nothing at all, the cash flow still comes in regularly. This is the level of the true investor, the asset builder. So what is the financial freedom matrix? It's when you combine these two maps. You ask yourself, who am I in the cash flow quadrant? And which level am I on in the income pyramid? When you identify your current position, you can then design a clear roadmap to move up, level by level, step by step, firmly and practically. Part 2. Journeys through the Matrix. Now, I don't want you to just listen to theory. I want you to see real people with real lives who have learned how to climb each level in the financial freedom matrix. Let's start at the bottom with a man we'll call Ben, the factory worker. Ben is 33 years old from a small town in the Midwest and came to the big city to work as a factory worker when he was 20. For 13 years, he has been with a logistics company. His job hasn't changed much. At 6 o'clock a.m., he's there, carrying goods, applying labels, checking inventory. His total monthly income is around $3,000. He is squarely in the employee quadrant and at level 1 of the pyramid. His income is 100% dependent on his physical labor. One day, he injured his back at work. He couldn't sleep that night, and the doctor ordered him to take at least 2 weeks off. Before even 10 days had passed, he started to struggle financially. It was then that he realized, I've worked without missing a single day for 7 years, but after being off for just 10 days, I can't stand on my own. What's the point of working like this? After this incident, he and his wife started a small side business. His wife made delicious herbal tea, and he helped with bottling it. Every evening, they would sell it to their friends and colleagues. After a month, they had a steady profit of a few $100s. Not much, but it was the first cash flow that didn't come from his company. At this point, Ben was now in E+S, employee plus self-employed, and had taken his first step up to level 2 of the pyramid. He was still using his own effort, but he was no longer completely dependent on one source of income. After a year, he and his wife realized they had enough experience and a great recipe. So he wrote down the herbal tea recipe, how to choose the leaves, how to brew it, and how to preserve it. He compiled it all into a simple ebook. Start a herbal tea business with $100, which he sold for $19. He sold the ebook through his personal Facebook page. He would get 20 to 30 orders a month. No need to cook, no need to ship, but the money still came in. At this point, Ben had moved from the B quadrant into the I, investor quadrant. He was an investor in his own digital asset. His income was coming from knowledge that had been packaged and could be sold multiple times. He had finally stepped up to level 4, passive income. You don't need to quit your job to be free. You just need to know how to create an additional stream of income. Now let's look at a woman we'll call Hannah, the food cart owner. For 10 years, Hannah ran a successful sandwich cart. She was her own boss, and she made good money. She was firmly in the S, self-employed quadrant, and at level 2 of the pyramid. But she had a problem. She hadn't taken a single day off in 10 years, because if she did, her customers would be gone, and it would be hard to get them back. She wasn't her own boss. She was being held captive by her own work. After having to take a few days off due to an injury, she realized her vulnerability. So she started to change. She called her younger sister to help her. She meticulously wrote down her sauce recipe with precise measurements. She created a sandwich cart handbook detailing every step of the process. They started splitting shifts. After 3 months, she was able to take a full week off to go back to her hometown, and her customers still ate her sandwiches regularly, made by her sister. At this point, she had moved from S to B business owner. She had a replacement, a process, and a system. She had also stepped up to level 3 of the pyramid with system support. Her work was gradually moving away from personal effort towards being process-driven. Freedom doesn't come from not being an employee. It comes from no longer having to do everything yourself. But what about the people who are already in the B quadrant? Let's talk about Kevin, the business owner. Kevin once had 8 successful bubble tea branches. He was in the B quadrant and at level 3 of the pyramid. To outsiders, he was a model of a successful startup. But one day, he said something that made a whole room of entrepreneurs pause. I have 8 bubble tea branches, but I have never dared to take a 5-day vacation in a row, because I know if I stop, everything will collapse. He had a system, but that system didn't run without him. Then the 2020 pandemic broke out. His shops closed one after another. His revenue dropped to 0, but his expenses, rent, salaries, all still had to be covered. He lost nearly everything. He realized, I thought I had a business model, but it turns out I was just building a paper tent. After this collapse, he started over. But this time, he didn't start with a shop. He started with a mindset. He created a YouTube channel called The Sober Shop Owner, sharing every painful lesson he had learned. He moved from B to I, an investor, investing in knowledge and a digital system. He created an online course, A to Z Shop, opening system. His income was steady without the pressure and risk of his old business. He realized that having a brand doesn't mean you have freedom. Only when you can remove yourself from the equation and the cash flow still comes in are you truly free. Part 3. Your roadmap to freedom. So what about you? Which level are you on, and do you dare to take the next step? Now is the time to turn the financial freedom matrix into a living map for your own life. Here are the simple steps to apply this powerful matrix. Step 1. Determine your position in the matrix. Ask yourself, how do I make money? Am I an employee, self-employed, operating a system, or an investor? If I take 7 days off, does my income stop? If stopping work means losing income, you are at level 1 or 2. Step 2. Move up level by level. Do not try to leapfrog. Don't rush to dream of passive income if you are still dependent on your own daily effort. Start with a side stream of income, a small system, or a knowledge product. If you are an employee, create a side income. If you are self-employed, start to systemize and train a replacement. Every small step up is a new level of freedom. Step 3. The core principle is separation. There is no freedom if you cannot pull yourself out of the process and the cash flow still flows. There is no real system if you still have to be physically present for things to run. And there is no right investment if you don't truly understand what you're putting your money into. Step 4. Use your starting tools. You don't need to wait until you're rich to start. If you have a small skill, create a side service. If you have a life experience, create an ebook. Start with what you have. You don't need to be better than others. You just need to be on a better track than you were yesterday. Anyone can move up as long as you know where you are and you dare to take the next step. So there you have it, the Financial Freedom Matrix. It's a map that clearly shows you the 4 ways people make money: as an employee, self-employed, a business owner, or an investor. And the 4 levels of income, from trading your manual labor to earning true passive income from your assets. The journey of the 4 people we met today, Ben, Hannah, Kevin, and others like them, shows us that this is not a theoretical concept. It is a practical, step-by-step path that anyone can follow. They are no better than you in any way. They were only better in one crucial decision. They chose not to live forever at the bottom level when they knew they could go further. And now the map is in front of you. To take the next step or to stop is your own choice. Stop making money by instinct. Start living by the map of freedom. Thank you for joining us here at Wealth Topmax. We hope this has given you a valuable new perspective and a clear, actionable plan for your financial journey. Don't forget to subscribe for notifications, and we will see you in the next video.